Hi Gemini, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Check them out for all three so that you know which part of you I resonate with most as a reader. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Tree of Life. Okay, so as you know, this is like my favorite card across all of my decks. Obviously, I loves me the supernal triangle, but I love this card because it represents divine intervention and assistance. And so what this means sometimes is maybe sometimes you don't get the thing that you want because the universe has something better in store for you. And usually with this card, it tends to show up relatively quickly. All right, so stay tuned, as it were. For your actions and options this week, you've got the Queen of Wands, sorry. So this means that a fire sign woman, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, could actually play a very important role in this week for you. And as well, when it comes to your actions and options this week, you're going to have to set a boundary. And I'm going to be really honest with you, it may not necessarily be comfortable, but this is about really sort of putting your feet down and so it's kind of saying, look, you know what, this is how things are going to be from here on in. Now, in terms of the options that are available to you, this could be what I would consider like a patroness, somebody that's coming in to help and or support you in some way, shape or form, particularly when it comes to your creative or maybe even your professional endeavors. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Three of Swords. So this week you will be parting ways with someone, right? Something's coming to an end or coming to a close here. And, you know, while that may not necessarily be comfortable, it may very well be in that professional sphere that you have to put your foot down and it's like, okay, you know what? Here we'll be parting ways and the reason for it is A, B and C. Now, because it's the Three of Swords, this might be a loss that you sort of feel quite keenly. But what this means is it puts you in a place or a position of, you know, really standing your ground. Now, the Three of Swords as a communications card means that this week you are going through the process of elimination, and whatever comes to a close or an end, let it go with grace. The Tree of Life is absolutely working in your favor. Right now, for those of you that are studying some form of academia, it may possibly be that, you know, maybe you've had the support, certainly creatively or alongside your studies, maybe you've had the support of your parents or your peers or somebody that really matters to you. That may be going away now. And I got to be honest with you, there is a part of me that just feels like this is a test. Not for the sake of like, you know, being mean, or it's not about the universe being cruel or anything like that. It's about really seeing how much you want it. Like, you know, this is kind of like, let's say you have a plan to go out to the cinema to see a film that you really, really want to see and your friends let you down. Are you going to not go and see that film just because they can't or won't go? Or are you going to see it through? This kind of feels like that, right? This is the universe saying there are going to be moments along the path of this study that are going to be somewhat lonely or will need to be self-directed, and it's important that you show up for yourself. And, you know, this is giving you a chance to do so. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, this could be, again, maybe you have an ally or a support, or maybe this week, you know, you start to refuse duties and or things that have been put on you that just don't feel good. It's almost like you're kind of saying to yourself, you know what, I've done enough. I don't need to prove myself to anybody anymore. And more importantly, I don't need somebody to back me up in order to stand my ground. I've done more than enough for the company. I know what quality of, you know, what level of quality I bring to the job. Ultimately, you know, I feel like I'm, you know, being taken for a ride. So you might have to really put your foot down here. You will be backed, right? You will be backed up. So my advice would be to go for it. If you are a business owner, entrepreneur, solopreneur, person that works for themselves, if you have somebody pull out here, whether this is a client, whether it's a particular type of business, all the rest of it. This actually really does work in your favor. It will be an initial like ball ache because it's like, oh crap, you know what, that's, you know, money that I needed or maybe had allocated or whatever. But because you've got this Queen of Wands here, there are going to be other supports and, more importantly, or quite frankly, better clients, okay? When it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, this, I gotta be honest, this might be a familial situation that feels like it's already at breaking point, and it may be that you kind of withdraw yourself to say, you know what, this whole situation has become toxic and I'm not feeding into it anymore. For your money and material, you've got the Seven of Pentacles, right? So if you are partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, where you've put the hard graft and effort in, right, this week, I think you're going to be really clear on whether it has or has not been worth it. Now, with the Queen of Wands in tow, this is you effectively saying to your partner, you know, we need to kind of cross this bridge or finish this hurdle once and for all. It's like you've invested as much time, effort, and energy in a hard situation as you're willing to. And also with this Tree of Life energy, sometimes it tends to bring things to a head. So you might notice this, right? It may also be that your partner's kind of saying, you know, I think we should invest in this or we should do this. And you're like, no, that's not the sensible option right now. It would be better for us to do A, B, and C. For those of you that are single and looking to mingle, love this because there's potentially you. And do you know what's really funny? If you are part of a dating website or an app or anything like that, and you've had nothing come out of it, this week it looks like you finally have a breakthrough, right? You have a little fish bite the hook, as the saying goes. And then for your money and materials, you've got the Nine of Swords. So this is not an easy card. So more than anything this week, it's more trepidation around money. It's more sort of worry. And I think this is you hyping it up in your mind, which means that the universe is going to give you a sharp kick in the pants to say, hey, listen, you're okay. I've seen you okay up until now, and I've got no plans to let that not happen. What this also means as well is, and I'm sorry, just because of all the other cards here, money that you had allocated from one area or sector is likely not to come through this week. I don't think that it's not coming through at all. It's more that it's either delayed or it's going to go through a transitionary period, like, you know, one client leaves and another one comes in. Now, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Nine of Swords actually speaks to all of the areas of the body that you as a Gemini rule. Please, 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 especially with this the Three of Swords here and the Seven of Pentacles, if you are working in the garden, if you're working on things with sharp objects and all of that stuff, please watch out for your hands, your arms, and your fingers. Like, just be extra vigilant around those things this week. And one thing that I will say to you on this front as well, whatever you're doing, even if it's something that you're super advanced with, don't be absent-minded around sort of DIY tasks this week, all right? It's just don't do it. When it comes to your home and environment, the Nine of Swords and the Tree of Life, I've said this for a while for the Geminis. There seems to be some bigger or larger plan unfolding for you guys in terms of your living situation, but I feel like the universe is keeping its cards close to its chest at this minute. You might feel the stirrings, you might feel the rumblings, and you're like, yeah, even still, it's not yet, Raf, it's not yet. And I kind of feel that as well. It's not yet, but I feel like it's, you know, something's winding up to a point. So it'll be interesting to hear from you guys in the comments so you can let me know what is going on with your living situation. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. I also want to mention, look out for whatever's taking place at nighttime, all right? Around the home. Just keep a weather eye on things. With that said, I don't think there's any problems, but I do feel like that you're probably gonna, like, maybe the neighborhood watch sends a message to say, you know, we've had a lot of rowdy, you know, teenagers or whatever. Like, there's something that's causing you a little bit of trepidation in the living situation. So just keep an eye on that because it's happening at nighttime, but not to you, but around you. All right. With that said, let me know in the comments. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.